Yeah, baby. Wonder if all my bad decisions get accounted in the algorithms. No statistician could dissuade me from my bigger vision. I know my occupation's quite an unlikely place in this world to occupy and talk about upon a daily basis. Our information's predetermined by some biased business. We all in sermon to Silicon that push out lovely neighbors. I'm done with paper chasing, think I'm on to bigger banquets. This that full circle, new wave, energy on a Tuesday. Turn a blue day to a bright hue, yellow with a smooth A in hair. Extra fruit, the brand. You can't move me. The music is man. It's a con job, but it's grand. I'm blessed with a great hand amongst many that stank. And yeah, it took some hard work, but blind luck play a huge role. If they say that it don't, when they feeding you fool's gold. And if I know one thing, the truth's home. Even if it's a tough thing to swallow, an even harder thing to hold and truly know without a doubt while on the globe. Even though that seems inherent, it ain't always so apparent. Dangle carrot, you ain't always gonna get it. But don't worry, it's a pretty February in a year with more to carry and more days is yet to come. Under the sun, taking the ferry to the city where the moment's extra pretty, like the people, like the idea that I keep inside my brain that isn't equal to the real world. All that stress ain't saving me fear though. I swear to God I'm trying. Look, they pushing their demons down my esophagus, screaming the easy life, what I want always. Praise made up holidays, tell me that love is the answer just to boost this economy. Buy more sell now, but I ain't following. I ain't a hollow man, I'm full of them fall winds. Take it all with a tall grin, and if you feel it, do it with me, and just sing what the song says. Take it all for what it is. It ain't all so big. So big, so big, so big. Take it all for what it is. What it is, what it is, what it is, what it is. It ain't all so big. It ain't all so big.
Hello, hello, hello. This is Unsolicited, and I am Security Boss. I hope everyone is having a terrific evening. It's Friday night, and you all could have been anywhere, but you choose to be here with me, with SB Nation. Thank you so very much. Listen, guys, I apologize to you for us getting started a little late. We had a little rebooting of the computer that needed to take place, but we're here now. And I hope everybody's doing well. Sir Hale, thank you for being here. Eugene Steele, thank you. Big Bad Bull, thank you. Listen, thank you for being here. But I understand we probably will be here. But if we don't, listen, we already know. We already know. And so any other guys that when you're coming in, make sure you give me the thumbs up. If there's anybody that is in the live now that has not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do that. Of course, right when we get started, I want to share a couple of things that everyone needs to know. We know everybody knows that we have the Moneyline song, Raw and Uncut. Hey, Security Boss, how are you tonight? I am doing good. I hope you are too. I appreciate you being here. Listen, you guys be really showing out. Bravo with Sheila. Ladies, let's talk. I think that's what it says. Blessings. Thank you, Sheila. Thank you for being here. You guys really be showing out. Y'all be really showing up. I appreciate you so much on my last show, the Solution Show. I got so many nice comments, and some were agreeable, some were not. We're just looking for some sort of solutions, guys, because nobody's doing anything. Nothing's changing, and the nuclear family is becoming less and less and less. And you know what? Maybe that's the direction that we're going in. I don't know. I don't think it's good, but I have to go with it, right? I can only take care of my situation, and I can actually put some suggestions out there for others, but you don't have to do it. You know that. But Big Bad Bull, there was one question that you actually had, and I did not see it that night, but I wanted to tell you, if the young lady and the young man were to get married and they would have additional kids, that wouldn't change the situation for me. They would still be on that first 5-year program, and that those incentives would end after that 5th year. So they could do whatever they want. Of course, they would still be getting teaching and counseling throughout those 5 years. But at the end of that 5th year, they would have to actually leave from those incentives. So that's just how it would go. Ronica says, I tried to cam up on the last show, but I don't know how to work the Melon app. It is kind of difficult, isn't it? But you know what? It was difficult for me too. You just go in through Chrome. For me, you go in through Chrome and, just put the link into the Chrome um, bar, and then it'll get you in. So hopefully tonight, maybe if we're talking about something that you want to give your input on, you get the cam up, but just go through Chrome and it should work for you. But anyway, Big Bad Bull, if you heard that, that is my answer to that. Because I noticed that I think it was Luke Casely gave you another suggestion, and I don't agree with that. I don't agree with the time starting over. That's not incentivizing. That's just still giving you a crutch. I want people to be incentivized and grow up and take accountability for their mistakes, not just continue to make them knowing that you're going to get some incentive to do so. So that just repeats the program and the situation that we are in now. And that's not what I'm trying to do. So I hope that answers that question. Another comment that was made was, we need some solutions, definitely, but we can't force individuals to be married. Mike Dove, hey, Mike, how are you? I agree that you can't force individuals to be married, but what I was saying is, in order to receive the incentives, you would want to get married. Otherwise, you would be on your own. So I'm not forcing you, but if you're 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, it would be in your best interest to do that so you can learn and become adults, mothers and fathers, husbands and wife within being with being incentivized and someone actually taking care of you and seeing you through the actual program. So it's not a force. It's of course an option, but the option to the other side of that is you're on your own. So you would still have a choice to make. Boss Lady Iris, how are you? Iris, I'll never forget your story from the other day, from a couple of weeks back. That was a good one. It's good to see you here. So listen, guys, today is gender talks. And what that means, of course, any gender, male or female, you all can come up and ask your questions, bring your topics, whatever it is. But the question that I have for the panel tonight or for talks tonight is there anything more important than your spouse? I'm going to say that slow so y'all can hear me, because I know it's a mama somewhere blinking her eyes. So the question is there anything more important than your spouse? So y'all know what that means. These little children, are they more important? Is your wife more important? Your job, your career, that car? I got one for y'all. I hope everybody's sitting down. Your mama, or I should say your mother-in-law. Is there anything or anyone that is more important than your spouse? Now, Raw in Uncut says no. I agree with you. There isn't. But you know what? When you have kids from previous relationships and you bring them into your new relationship and you marry this person, now he becomes stepdad. Now, is he more important than those kids that you brought into the marriage? I bet someone would say yes. I, of course, would say no, but someone would. Sir Hell, thank you so much for your super chat. And for your $49.99 super chat, you get the Money Line song. Here it goes. Run it every time. Give me mine. Going up, need no decline. Money Line. I'ma run it every time. Give me mine. Going up, need no decline. Yeah. Listen, let's talk about it, guys. Thank you so much, Sir Hale. Listen, if you're in the chat and you're not busy, I'm definitely putting the link out there for you. Come on up. We need to talk about this, because is there anything more important than your spouse? Because I hear a lot of things. Now, for me, I'm agreeing with Raw and Uncut. There's not. Because remember, for me, when I married my husband, we became one. We worked on it every day to become one. So, there would be nothing that came in between that foundation. But I do know others that say, no, nothing comes before my children. Better yet, my mama. I heard just last night, an argument that somebody was having. And the young lady was like, don't nothing come before my mama. That's not her exact words, but it was just the whole attitude. It was the whole demeanor. They were saying, you're not supposed to go talk to your mama about everything. You're supposed to talk to your man. She was like, that's my mama. What me and my mama got to talk about is between me and my mama. So she was really meaning that thing, right? So I knew then that the man who marries her might have a little competition, right? So we need to talk about it. That is the question. Is there anything or anyone that's more important than your spouse? I agree that there are some challenges that we may have in marriages that may make a woman think twice. But I got to tell you this. If a woman is not putting her husband before her children, that is not the man that she needs to marry. All she's saying is, deep down inside of me, I don't trust this man enough to give him the rights to, help me parent my children. That's all she's saying. And it's okay to say that. Damn, say it loud. So you don't have to make the mistake. Maybe if you put it out there in the world, put it out there in the air, let that energy flow, then you won't do it. You won't make the mistake. But if you don't think it's a mistake and you think this man is the one you need to be married to, and he is good enough to be your husband, then you shouldn't second guess yourself about him being a parent with you to your children, because they need that. Hello, Mr. Carson. How are you? And Mike Dub says, is it though, or did she, that foundation? I'm not sure about, did they see that foundation? Mike, I'm not sure about what you're trying to say. But of course, you have to have that foundation. So that's what I'm saying. If in the back of your mind, you're saying that I don't trust this man enough with my children, then he's not the one. I mean, and it's okay to feel that way. It's actually a good thing to feel that way, if indeed that's the truth. If you don't feel like he is the one to parent your children with you, then you should not marry that man. But if you don't have those type of reservations, then he is the one that should be parenting your kids along with you. Now, when you're going into that relationship, you definitely have to have some agreements. I don't believe in somebody coming in beating your kids if that's not what, if that's not your parenting style. It definitely has to be conversations. Hello, Bethany. How are you? It definitely has to be some parenting styles put in place. We have to talk about it. We have to say, okay, look, this is how we're going to discipline these kids, and we have to agree. But she has to allow you to be the man over your home and therefore over your children. Women, I know y'all don't like that. Some of you might like it and just find it very hard and difficult to do. Either way, that's what we have to work towards, because you and your husband should be becoming one. Now, what about the mother-in-law for the woman? Your husband's mother. Ooh, y'all know how that is. She's number one in his life, and some men will not let it go. I heard also last night, you need to get off of her, her breast. Let's call it her breast. She didn't say breast, but y'all know what I'm talking about. So it goes the same. When a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. And also he leaves his mother's home and father's home, his parents' home, and he cleaves to his wife. So again, that's not enough. That is not enough. Again, there's nothing that should be more important than your spouse. I definitely want to hear what y'all have to say, though. I definitely want to hear about those children and those mother-in-laws. I would think those compromises everything. Mike, you got it. But there have been some relationships where I've heard that in these relationships, the women have definitely put the children in front of the husband. And also the husband has put his mother in front of the wife, because it's a lack of trust. Now, listen, I'll say this 100 times tonight until y'all hear me. It's okay not to trust someone to that degree. I mean, that's a real thing. That's a real feeling. I think it's almost important or almost necessary if you have that true concern, because what it says to me is that should not be the person that you're marrying. Don't marry that person because you got some concerns. They're not really making the cut. Bethany says, I agree. My mom and I are close, but I definitely had to decrease our talk time. Ooh. Not only did you have to decrease, oh, Bethany, I bet you saw what I saw last night. I bet you did. Not only did you have to decrease that talk time, but I bet you also changed the conversation, because I know for a fact you don't talk to your mother about your husband. I know you don't. Cedric Carson, thank you so much for your $9.99 super chat. Cedric says, I did a top five content creator. I did a top five content creator list among women. I forgot to put you on it. I'm going to have to make some tweaks. Okay. Sorry, but you the top five. Sure. Thank you, Cedric. And guess what? You get the money line song for your $9.99 super chat. Give me mine. Money line. Give me mine. Yeah. Thank you so much for that, Cedric. Definitely. Thank you for that. So, Bethany, yeah, I know you did. I know you changed that conversation, because we all know you don't call mom and tell mom how husband made you angry. That's just something you don't do once you get married. But listen, guys, I'm going to open up the link. I'm going to put the link in the chat. Excuse me. I'm going to put the link in the chat, and we're going to talk about it, because I want to hear what you all have to say. It seems like everybody's in agreement with me right now, but I want to hear someone that says, no, my children come first, or my mama comes first. Ooh, I got another good one. How about this? My job comes first. See, a lot of times we don't voice these things, but if you have a man that's working 80 hours a week, is that even possible? 2 full-time jobs? Is that possible? It's pretty darn near possible. It's too much. But if you got someone that's so dedicated to their work that they're not even taking care of their family, their wife, then that too is a problem. We have to go back and address that. It's very important. I understand, men, y'all getting y'all bag. I understand you taking care of the house. I understand all that. Bills have to be paid. But you cannot put your profession in front of your household. You have to be the spiritual leader. You have to be the leader of the house. You are the person. The woman manages the house, but you actually have to, let's just say, kind of dictate the way the house goes, or where it runs, or how it operates. So we need you out there. You don't need to be there all the time. Now, understand what I'm saying? If you got a woman and she's good, that's good that you put her in place. But you cannot allow your job to override your spouse. And the wife cannot allow those girlfriends. Now, I've told y'all several times, it's okay to go to women retreats and things of that nature with the girlfriends, but they need to be married friends. Ladies, married ladies, y'all don't need to have single friends. It's just becoming more and more evident that single friends really don't have a place in the life of a married woman. Now, I hope y'all hearing me, but if you don't, I need y'all to get it. Okay? Don't allow single friends to influence anything that you do in your relationship. They cannot come before your spouse. No. So still with me, there's nothing. Mike, you're right. There are some people that are totally married to their careers. Now, I do know that there are some careers that there's obligations. And I do know that there may be times where you may not be able to be that totally present husband. And I get that. And I'm sure the wife or the spouse would understand that too. But this is for a time, and it's a conversation that has to be had. If we go beyond that, it becomes like a ritual, or it's more important, or outside of being a doctor, and even that we would have limitations on, I believe. But outside being a doctor, having to give someone care, emergency situations, I would definitely question it. Definitely. Yeah, I know you in the military, and there's going to be times when you're going to have to be off. Oh, Lord, I hope not anytime soon. But there may be times where you might be off, just to say off doing your job, and you may not be at home. But your wife understands that. That's totally different. You have an assignment. Assignment is different than having a career that you would work at on a daily basis. And you're putting more work or more into your career than you will your household. That's putting someone or putting something in front of your spouse. And again, I say you're not supposed to put anything. There shouldn't be anything more important than your spouse. But again, the link is there. So if you all have more to add to it, or if there's someone that doesn't agree with me, I would love to hear about it. Because the question for tonight is, Well, this is my question. Is there anything more important than your spouse? I'm hearing so many things, guys. So many things. Mr. Steele, listen, Mr. Steele, thank you so much for your $5 super chat. He says, if anything, a married woman should influence her friends, and her friends should learn from her. I agree with that, but so often, for whatever reason, it doesn't work that way. I don't know. I don't know if it's because maybe the single life seems to be more fun or less demanding. I'm not really sure. I suggest you just keep them out your life. Now, if they're asking you something about being married, okay, I agree with that, but we can't hang out. We can't, and we probably have to meet in a mutual spot. You might not even be able to come over. I don't know. That's crazy, right? No, you don't have to be that you don't have to be that disciplined, but I'm just saying it needs to be hey, Genesis, how are you? Listen, y'all was burning some oil last night. I don't know what y'all be on. I'm gonna have to get me some of that, because listen, around midnight, I begin to shut down. Y'all just going like it's like in the middle of the day. I don't know how y'all do it. But anyway, Genesis, the question of the day is there anyone or anything, and it's probably anyone, that's more important than your spouse? Is there any person more important than your spouse? But I've added to it. I'm saying, is there anything? Because I thought about it, and I do know that there are some people that are totally married to their careers, and the career is like the most important thing in the world. So I've added to that. But initially it was the person. So again, the link is in the chat if you want to come up and speak on it a little bit. You have littles. Genesis has littles. Oh, that's a good question for you, Genesis. I would love for you to answer that question for me. Is there any person with that next gentleman in your life that you plan to marry? Will there be any person that's more important than him? Outside of God? No. Okay, go ahead, Genesis. I know that's tough though, because you got littles. You want to protect those babies, and I feel it. But we have to make some hard decisions. I agree with you. But that's the question. And remember, tonight is Gender Talks. It doesn't have to. This is my question to the panel or to the chat. This is my question. That was my question. But you can actually come up and speak on anything you like, because it is Gender Talks. And I've been seeing a whole lot. Oh, let me tell you about this right here. Something just came to me. I am going to be on Sir Hell Speaks Super Sunday on Sunday. And the topic will be, let me get it right. Let me make sure I got it right. He said, is marriage not the answer? Is marriage not the answer? Or something like that. I don't know. I'm going to have to look into that. I may have to protest that show. I'm letting you know right now, Sir Hell. I may be protesting that show. Okay, so Bethany says, I barely talk to my single friends, not in a bad way, but I'm too busy with the kids and my husband. Exactly. Yeah, and it's because you're into your marriage and you want to be a good wife, and you're finding, what is the word I'm looking for? You're finding everything you need within them. You're being satisfied within your family, and it should be that way. I often hear that women, sometimes they're not being satisfied within the relationships with their husband and their family. They feel like they're missing something. They always say, I'm missing something. I don't know what it is. So that is so good that you would say that. Keep it up. Keep it up. Yeah. Don't ever lose that. I don't know how you keep it. I mean, whatever you got to do to keep, building on your family and the values that you want your kids to have, and the value you have for your husband, continue to do so, because it's very important to be in a successful marriage relationship. And it seems like you all have one. And like I always say, it's good over here. Listen, guys, I'm not saying that a single person can't be happy. I'm not saying that you can't, but I think I would still, for me, I don't think I would. I prefer being married. So if you are happy as a single person, I wish. My sister tells me the same thing. I don't want no man. I don't want to be with no man. I'll just give me. And I know for a fact it's because she hasn't had, or her last relationship wasn't a good one. I already know. But I can't, I just keep talking to her and be like, relax. It's okay. Be where you are now. And maybe your situation may change. Miss Fluelin. Let's see. Thank you for being here. We will be celebrating 23 years of marriage on July 27th. No one comes before my hubby. I learned from my parents, God, husband, wife, children. Today is my 44th birthday. I wish I had. There you go. That is outstanding. I am so glad that you're here. We need more people like you in successful marriages to come up and speak about them because the world needs to hear it. Everything associated with marriage right now is almost negative. Cedric says, I'm feeling kind of weird talking to someone's wife, even in general conversation. I'd be feeling like some lines getting crossed. Oh, Let me read that again. Make sure I read it correctly. I'd be feeling kind of weird talking to someone's wife, even in general conversation. I'd be feeling like some lines are getting crossed. Okay. All right, Cedric, I'm going to have to take your word for that. But maybe you can cam up in just a little bit and let us know a little bit more about what you're speaking on, because I'm not really sure. Are you talking about single women? I can understand that. And if you're feeling uncomfortable, you know what? That's real. Don't negate that. It's a very real feeling. It's a very real feeling. A wife, Sir Hill says a wife comes third in a man's life. Okay, let me hear about that. As they grow older and he becomes more established, the time and attention to his wife increases. The focus is always the same. The attention, however, changes. Attention. Sir Hell, I would have to disagree. Well, the question is, do you put any person before your spouse? So are we going to go on attention and putting first? I mean, I don't know how you're looking at that, because here you said attention, but are you putting anything or any person before your wife? That's the question. Before your spouse, actually. And I may not agree with you. You might have to come and explain that to me. Mike Dub says, I find it interesting when married people talk to other people about issues instead of their spouse, the one person who needs to hear it. Hey, Mike, that's the craziest thing I ever heard in my life. There's some issues you might have to work out to get to a point where you feel comfortable enough. But I do know that sometimes women don't have that comfort level. And I've heard them say it before. They're not comfortable speaking to their husbands, only because maybe their husbands haven't allowed them to be that vulnerable with them as of yet. So they feel like he'll shut them down, dismiss them, or what have you. So in cases like that, they will go out and speak to someone else, another woman, or we'll have these women retreats and they'll complain about the spouses or something of that nature. Now, that's a real thing. It's not a right thing, but it's a real thing. And I think men need to understand that goes on. And it's just because they're just so busy with things in their mind. We always need to be each other's soft place to be. You know, I don't think we understand that. Hey, Derek, 1981, how are you? Okay, so you think, now again, when you have girlfriends, you do have those girlfriends because you want people to agree with you. I agree with that all day, every day, but not necessarily about the situation where a woman can't talk to her husband. There has been times when I've witnessed, not necessarily witnessed, but I know that men are not very receptive of a woman coming to him and telling him her concerns. I say this often: when you want to know how you're doing in a relationship, you need to ask your spouse. You don't need to assume that just because she's not saying anything or everything is okay, that everything is okay. You need to sit down and ask her, how are you doing? Now, I said before that my husband and I don't have check-ins. We don't, because we've been married so long. I just say whatever, but this is like 26 years later. But
Police
emotional.
officer, security boss joined.
That'll make a woman really emotional. Yeah, I'm always struggle streaming over here. I just came back into my own life. You had to laugh at this stuff. I came back into my own life. Now I'm here. But that is exactly right. You're Emils, you are right. I don't know how we need to break that barrier, but one way to do it. I heard someone say it, and I don't know who it was, but it was on one of Sir Hale's panels that checking in would be a good way to do it. But again, even with the check-ins, the spouse has to hear you check in. It can't just be something that, listen, babe, we need to talk. And as soon as they hear that we need to talk thing, they about ready to go out. What? I get it. But I think what needs to happen is we need to check in before it gets bad. If we can just check in while we're driving down the street or while we're eating dinner or when things are good, I think it'll go better than waiting when he knows and feels like something may not be good. Hey, Genesis, how are you? Something may not be good.
Hey,
Good.
Security Boss, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I like that hair down like that.
Listen, I'm struggling today.
Listen, you got the best do in the world. I love them braids. It just don't last long enough. They don't last long enough.
You know what? I tie mine down. They're about ready to come down, but I've gotten my money worth out of them for sure.
Well, I never feel like I get my money worth out of them. I never feel like that. But listen, thank you for being here. So you hear this topic and you said you got the littles too. How in the world? Tell me how. How do you feel? I'm glad you do. But was it or is it a second or third thought about allowing someone in your life that would actually help you parent your kids?
It is terrifying. I have been married most of my adult life, and you know that my fiance passed away, and he had been in my children's life since they were really small. They were 1 and 3.
Okay.
So he, it was different because, he pretty much watched them grow to the point they are now. And for somebody to come in, well, let me go back, because he came in
Mm-hmm.
and unfortunately he passed away and they had built this bond. Then I'm a little bit apprehensive about allowing somebody else in. I most definitely won't until I know that I know that I know that this is
Yeah.
somebody that I could be with long term. Because you don't want a revolving door when you have kids involved.
No, and it's okay to feel like that. I hope you feel that way, because that will make you more apprehensive in picking that perfect man for you, because you got to trust him. You got to trust that he's going to take care of those kids. And if you got one little inkling of something in your mind that he won't, then you will say, okay, he's not the one. And you'll keep moving. So that's
absolutely. And that's for me, that's a deal breaker. If somebody is not treating my children well, got to go.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be, because how old are they now?
7 and 9.
Oh boy, yeah, those are those impressionable ages too.
Yes.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, you got to be very careful, because listen, those kids are sponges right now. And right now you're creating, are they boys or girls or both?
Both. I have the 7-year-old is a girl, the 9-year-old is a boy.
They're now being shaped and molded to be who they are right now at 7 and 9. And you don't want anything to go left. So
Not
I hate
at
to say,
all.
you're going to have to just wait for another 5 years. You prepared for that?
I'm in no hurry to get back out there, because the stuff that I see is I'm not ready for the streets at all.
Genesis, I am just kidding, but I do feel you. I don't know how I see women like you that are good women that have been good wives and can make a good wife. And I hate it for you. I hate it.
I'm open to the idea of being married again, but big bad bull.
He said he refused to discipline him.
I am very protective as a mother, so I might have issue with discipline. I don't know. I'm still on the fence about that one, which is why I'm in no hurry to do anything, because I don't know if I can handle it.
Listen, it's a big deal. So take your time when you come to that. But as far as discipline goes, there will have to be some conversations about that. We have
Yeah,
to agree on what we do. We have to actually do it together.
right,
I mean, like,
right.
listen, until they trust who you are, we gotta be forced together.
First with a biological
Yeah.
parent.
Dang, that's a tough thing right there.
Yeah,
Very
it
tough.
is.
Hold on for a minute, Genesis. Mike Dub, how you doing today? I can't hear you.
Uh-oh. Mute.
I'm at work.
You at work,
Okay.
Mike? What you doing on the phone while you at work?
Hey, Mike.
I'm allowed to a certain
Okay.
extent,
So
but
but
I
Mike,
want
you
to
already married though. What you got? Oh, but you have some. What do you have to add to this conversation? Let's hear it.
about the whole marriage thing. About
Well,
the
either way,
whole.
no. It could be anything.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if you don't have the foundation to where you're both important, eventually it's going to stray.
Yeah.
Eventually, now it may not be right away, but eventually it's going to stray, and then the other person will eventually feel some type of way as if you're not fulfilling them or pouring your all into them.
Explain
And
that a little bit. Tell me about that a little bit more.
because let's say you're married to your job, right? You're more than likely not going to, and let's say this is a man, you're more than likely going to be paying attention to your wife as you should be.
Right. So she's gonna feel neglected.
She's going to feel neglected, and then when you're in that state of mind, for man or women, it is easy to find an outside source to stimulate that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Very easy. But there got to be some conversations because you gave the example of yourself being in the military. Your wife has to understand that it's your duty. You may be gone sometime for 6 months or whatever. I have to be a better woman I can be lonely, but I have to know that I have a purpose. My husband is doing something that's much bigger than me. So that would
Well,
keep me going.
I'm in a rare case because my wife is also in the military too, so we have an understanding so we both know what we go through, and so we understand that there's some nights I might not come home. Like tonight, I'm not going home till 6 o'clock tomorrow.
Mm. And when was the last time you saw her?
On break.
Okay.
That was about like 2 hours ago.
Okay. That's different. That's just enough to miss and to love. But but say you were not in the military. You know who I bet struggles a lot, and I said this was probably doctors. Doctors probably struggle a lot, especially baby doctors. You know how they'll call you on the whim, the baby's on the way, and you got to jump up, move out. I bet they struggle a lot with putting their career before their family. I know they do. I'm sure there's some understandings, but I know that's probably what has to happen. And it may not look that way because they have an understanding, but I bet that wife does, often want to be with her husband when he's somewhere at work.
And I've experienced this a lot because I've been in the military for a number of years now, is that I know plenty of spouses, men or women, it doesn't matter, that they're down for it in the beginning, but as time goes on, it starts to bother them.
Oh, so you got any stories about that? You've seen anything that happened that was not right?
Yeah, I've actually seen a lot of people get filed for divorce during deployments.
And that was the reason?
That was the reason that was given to me.
Wow.
But I've actually had, when there was one guy in Afghanistan, he came back to an empty house. His wife packed up and took everything. Now, I don't know the backstory to it for her to go to that extreme, but
She got tired. She got tired of being alone. Well, I don't know that for sure because she left her husband, which makes no sense to me because it would seem that she's going to be single now, but she probably had something waiting over there on the left for her.
either that or he did something and that's just her way of getting back. But I don't know. I've heard some crazy people, how they try to get back at other people. People can be petty. Let's just say that.
No, they can, but your marriage is too serious to be petty with. I think that's a serious situation, and if you being petty with that, what else would you do? How low can you go?
Also, I just think too that the whole pettiness is that we live in a world where people are a lot more immature than we realize.
Well,
Because if something don't go your way and your automatic go to is to be petty.
I see it like this. It's a lot of people, and we talked about this a little bit last night with Genesis. There's a lot of people that are getting married and they don't take it serious because
Yeah.
being married to a person is that's one of the most important relationships you'll have in your life. Actually, if not the most important outside of, like Genesis says, God. That's one of the most important relationships you have in your life. So why would you play with it? What is such a joke about it? Why is it not serious?
Honestly, in my opinion, they care more about the title.
About the what?
The title, I'm married, than actually being a spouse. But also, I'm also under the impression sometimes is that sometimes people are too selfish. There are some people
Now,
out
Genesis,
there.
this is what I was going to talk to you about this last night, but I knew we would go back and forth. Now, Genesis, you made a comment last night. You said it's some healthy, and it may not have been you, Genesis, but you tell me, did you say something about selfishness is good?
A healthy dose of
Yes,
selfishness.
because if you don't have
Meaning,
selfishness, you ain't gonna get ahead in life.
well,
Right.
I
No,
mean a healthy
she
dose
said
of
healthy
selfishness,
self.
meaning you have to do some self-care because if you're exhausted, then you don't have anything to give.
Yeah,
You can't,
I completely agree with
you
that.
can't fill somebody else's cup if yours is empty. You have to have something to give to the other person.
But the other side of that, if all you're worried about is your cup and you don't give a damn about the others, that's gonna cause a problem.
I agree. And that's why I said a healthy dose of selfishness, not extreme, just so that you're not giving until you don't have anything left to give.
But this also comes into the one when I put in the chat earlier is compromise. It seems like we live in a day and age where no one wants to compromise no more. It's either going to be my way or no way.
I see that too, but before we leave there, I'm still back on Genesis selfishness because I agree to a degree, Genesis, with you, because I do think a man would be very selfish coming into a relationship to find his wife. He needs to be selfish on what he wants, what he wants in her. He would be very selfish on his purpose and doing all he has to do to get to that purpose. But once we get married, though, I'm having a little bit of problems with it. I can't see it within the marriage. I'm trying to see exactly what you're saying, like within the marriage. How does it look?
Let me give you an example.
Thank you.
If the two of you are both working,
Okay.
you're working a 9 to 5, and if you have children or small children like I do, they require a lot. You still have to give some attention to your spouse. You still have household duties that you have to take care of, and you have to get some rest.
Right.
So if you're giving and you don't get any rest, then at some point that's going to catch up with you, and you're not going to have any energy to do any of the adulting that you have to do day to day. So at some point you have to stop. Okay, I can't do 50 things today. I've got to do 25 and get some rest.
Okay. Okay. Oh, you calling that selfish? I call that just being smart.
I got
Being
a few.
smart. I'm tired. I'm tired. I got you
Yeah.
now.
I got a few examples, and this is
Okay.
actually pretty common in today's age. The whole sexless marriage thing. Now it depends on why it happens, but there's a lot, and it goes for men and women, is that you are not going to touch me, but at the same time, you better not touch nobody else.
Okay, and that's a selfish thing to have in a marriage, and it's not welcome at all.
Now on either part, and it can depend on the reasoning behind it. But if it's just like I'm just not in the mood, I don't care anymore. And this goes also for not wanting to give your partner attention anymore just because I don't feel like it. But on the same note, you better not go get it from somebody else.
Now, are you saying this is okay? Well, we're saying that I'm saying selfishness should not be in the marriage. Are you saying that should be or what?
No, it shouldn't be. I was giving
Okay.
examples of selfishness.
Oh yeah. I can see. I got plenty examples of selfishness, but Genesis' example was not. I didn't feel like that was selfishness, Genesis. I think that's just I'm tired. I need a break. I can't go anymore because women will. I noticed that women, especially when it goes to children and taking care of the house and things of that nature, we will continue to go until you can't go anymore. But I don't. That's to me, that's not being selfish. That's just
But
time to sit down.
what,
But what
what,
Mike said is selfishness. That's crazy, Mike.
but you know, it's selfish on the man's part. What you just said,
What?
and I found this the hard way
What?
is that I've gotten to the point every day when I get home is like, do you need help with anything? How can I make your life easier today?
That's very good. That's selfless. That's a very good thing to do. I think it's selfish when you don't see that she's doing it.
Yeah.
That would be selfish and that's not something that makes a marriage good. Actually, it builds up a lot of resentment when you see your woman trying to do a million things and you tired and sitting down watching TV. But hold on for one moment. Sir Hale speaks. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hey there, I'm fantastic. How are you?
Doing well. So listen, you see this topic here, and you had a comment, Lord Jesus, we're going to have to talk about that comment. But do you think that there's any person that should be put in front of your spouse?
Person, no.
Okay. I'm the person, the question was person, and I agree with you. And I think we all agree, but I added person or thing. And then that's when I added the careers. I added the mother-in-laws. Well, that's a person, can't add that. Basically the careers would be the next thing that I added that I felt like shouldn't come before your spouse either. You had a comment on that. What was your comment?
Yes, when it comes to people, we 100% agree. When it comes to work and purpose, a wife comes third. It is God, it is a man's purpose, and then it is his wife. And it's a good third. And the reason why it should be third is because she's going to reap the benefits of all the other work that he's putting in.
Let's see, those first two are a given.
Yep.
But that's a given. We didn't need to say that. Over here, we're talking about married people who are married and being married successful. So that's not a question.
I think it does. Because a lot of people, a lot of ladies that I hear, if you say my career or my purpose comes before you, well, then that's a moment of contention, because I don't think a lot of people understand the benefit of a man focusing on that. The other parts, what I was saying was, as the man gets older, then the attention shifts. So you brought up a good example earlier about the military, being a doctor, so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. We know that as when we're working to develop and to increase our earnings and our status, the amount of attention we have to give to that is unquestionable. You got to give it to get what you want to get. But as you become more established, you can pull back some more. There's some more vacations. There's some things that we don't have to worry about because he did what he had to do early to give his wife the type of lifestyle and the attention she needs later. So that's why I brought that point up, because it's very important to understand that.
I don't hold on for a minute, Mike. I do agree with the purpose being in your career as far as a doctor, your entrepreneur, what have you, because I know what it takes to make that operate. And I know, I know as an entrepreneur, that's who you are. That's your business. But I don't agree with that being a job. I don't think a man should work 80 hours a week.
I think a man should. Minimum.
Minimum at somebody else's job workplace? Really?
No. So when I say work, I mean earning. So however you have to earn.
Okay, I got you. I agree with you if you're earning for your purpose and for your family. I'm talking about an hourly wage earner. I don't think he should be away from the house 80 hours working for someone else. I don't agree with that.
Well, so it depends on security boss. So let's say we just got married and we in our third year of marriage. We got some little boogers getting ready to run around the house. And so we're like, this apartment is too small for us and we need some more space. And I say that, hey, I could take on this work. They're going to pay me $50 to $60 an hour. In the next 2 to 3 years, we're going to pay some debt down. We've got some money saved up and we can go buy a house. In that instance, absolutely do it.
I would say, no, sir, your foundation is not strong enough for you to leave your wife at 3 years to go out and work in a field for 60 to 80 hours. We're just going to have to stay here until we get there. I'll figure out a plan. or we'll work together in doing it. I think it's more important, especially with that time frame that you gave, that we build a foundation first before we take on something like that. But again, it also means that you're going to be intentional about what you're doing as far as having kids, the bills we're paying, the bills we're creating, all that has to be more intentional. So I guess I kind of agree, but then I don't agree. I'm saying don't allow life to happen to you, plan your life.
I agree with that, which is why men should work
So
80 hours a week.
We kind of agree. We kind of agree, then we kind of don't agree. But I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying. If you're in a situation and it's already presented itself, I kind of agree. So, Mike, you get ready to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I agree with him to a certain extent, is that a man should not get married if he has not found his purpose yet.
I can agree with that. But let me ask you a question. At what age do you think a man finds his purpose?
It depends, because
And
I found
can a wife assist in that?
she can.
So I think in that case, it's good to have a partner because sometimes she pulls stuff out of you that you didn't know was there.
Yes, but I'm a different case because I always wanted to go in the military since I was a kid, so I already knew my purpose at a young age. But there's a lot of people who don't know their purpose until later, sometimes later on in life.
Mike,
And
we can't hear you. It's going in and out.
Is that better?
Yes, right there. Go ahead.
Okay. But I'm saying I found my purpose early, but I also know a lot of people, this goes for men and women, they don't find their purpose till later on in life. Sometimes it could be 40s, even 50s.
So I got a question for you two men, Sir Hale and Mike. How did you both find your purpose so early? How did you know that was your purpose?
I love
My passion. My passion.
So your passion was your purpose?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. What about you, Sir Hale?
Money. I needed some money. I was broke. And being broke helped me to figure out what my purpose was. So I thought I was going to be a musician because I play the piano, I sing, and I write songs. I'm like, this is what I'm going to be doing. And then now I speak more and I'm into technology, and that's what I do. Right. So, but guess who helped me to find this? The
Your
lady
wife.
that I'm married to.
Mhm.
Yep. So I think what you go through different iterations of yourself. When you're younger, you have an idea of what you want to become. As you get older and accumulate more experience, well, it shifts, and you find out that sometimes your purpose is not your passion, but that your passion is a gateway for you to understand your purpose, if that makes any sense. And so that's what happened to me. Yeah. So my goal was to communicate. So I was doing it through music. Well, that was a passion. That was a gateway. The goal was to be a communicator, and that learning how to compose taught me how to reach an audience, and which is what we're doing now. So the passion helped me to discover that purpose, and being with the wife and having 4 kids and being broke helped to accelerate me walking into that purpose.
So I think I hear you. What you're saying is, and this is really good because I think a lot of people get caught up with this. Is your purpose sometimes can it be tied into your motivators? What motivates you?
I don't think so. And let me
No?
tell you why.
Okay.
Motivation is dishonest, because when you're really about something, you don't always feel motivated to do it. The thing that people who are successful live with is decision. So whether I feel motivated to do it or not, I've made a decision to do it. And that's what keeps that consistency. And men who are successful, and women as well, motivation is like icing on a cake, but it's not the cake. It may make it a little bit better, but what you need is the foundational part, which is that decision. And from that decision, you will actually develop the feel that you need. People who motivated, let me start the year off and lose weight. You're motivated. If you haven't made a decision, by come February, you're going to stop because motivation is not enough.
So what was that word that you used when you said I needed money?
Broke.
So brokenness was what encouraged your purpose.
No, a decision to want to be better did.
Okay. So say it again for me, please. So what encouraged your decision? Okay, because what encouraged your purpose? I need to hear it, because what I'm hearing is so many people can't find their purpose. Some people just know what they're here to do. My husband knew that he was a entrepreneur from a kid. I think I even heard you say something like this too, Sir Hale, he used to go downtown where we live with a suit jacket on and be like, "This is gonna be my office one day." That was just his thing, that's something he did. So he always knew that that's what he was going to be in pursuit of, and he couldn't and wouldn't work for anybody else. I mean, here and there, of course, because he had to eat. But as far as him being a man, he was going to find a business to own and be an entrepreneur, and that's just who he's been since I've always known him. Has never been anything else. I've never said he's never talked to me how he became that or where did it come from. It's just that's the person I've always known. Now you're saying that you were broke and you had kids, so you just wanted to be a better person. That's what led you to your purpose?
Yes.
Huh.
So I was making money as a musician.
Right.
It just wasn't enough for the type of security I wanted to provide my family. So I had to make a decision.
Okay, hold on for one moment. Brian Jehovah. Hey, Brian, how are you?
What's up, Brian?
Thank you for your $4.99 super chat. I became successful without a wife. You did. Oh, listen, you can definitely hit that super chat. We would love to hear about it. And we also would like to hear about you being on your purpose. So, Mike, tell us, how did you find your purpose? Because you said you did it when you were younger also. Well,
Yes, I've always just had a passion for the military. It was just like people like to say their calling, so to say. And so I'm probably going to be that 20 years plus guy.
okay, so you wanted to serve your country, or was it just the disciplines that came with the job?
The discipline and the pretty much being a soldier or a grunt or a man carrying the rifle, like that was just my thing. So
have you seen other people? Are there other people in your family that are soldiers?
I think that might have a lot to do with it because I come from a military strong family. Almost every male in my family was in the military.
Okay.
And even my grandmother was in the military. And so that may have a lot to do with it. But they served and they got out. I don't want to get out.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. I don't think I ever heard anybody say that before. So you don't want to go out. So you've already made it a career and that's where you're going to be until you retire.
Yes.
Wow. That's very good.
Because majority of the time people don't go in the military for the money because the money's not there. Unless you hit 20 plus or more years than that, then the money finally comes in. Because you got to remember, the military is government paid. Now, we do get better benefits to other people, like free medical, free dental, free college, all that stuff. But someone coming fresh from boot camp, they're probably making the same amount as someone working at McDonald's, maybe even less.
Okay. So listen, this question is probably different for women. So Genesis, have you established your purpose in life yet?
I have.
Okay. How did you get there?
I actually bumped my head up against the wall several times. I knew what my purpose was. I was more focused on making a living rather than following my purpose. And I worked in law enforcement. I worked in the legal field, insurance, and it wasn't satisfying. I walked away from a 6-figure income career to become an entrepreneur. And that afforded me a little bit of freedom and flexibility to work towards my purpose. And I kind of feel a little bit different than Sir Hale. I think your purpose is tied to the things that you're passionate about, or the things that you would, if money were not an issue, the things that you would do for free.
I would have to agree with that because I know a lot of people who make a lot of money at their jobs, but hate waking up every day to go to it.
And that was me.
And that to me, that's not living at your purpose. Meaning that you are happy to get up every day and go make this money and go do this job.
Yep.
Because in your head, you're not really. If you enjoy, I've always been told this by my dad. If you enjoy what you do at work, then you never really worked a day in your life.
So listen, this is gender talk. I'm sorry. Did you say something? Were you saying something, Genesis? No? Okay, so this is Gender Talks, and on Gender Talks, if you have any questions, we can actually talk about anything you like. But the question today is there any person that you would put before your spouse? So let me answer that last question as far as the purpose, because I think that is really important, because I think a lot of people, whether we know it or not, may struggle with their purpose, and we never talk about it. I mean, even when in church, that used to always be the thing, your purpose, but nobody ever told you how to figure out what it is. So I think a lot of people may be somewhere wondering, what's their purpose and how do I get there? So for me, listen, I may be considered one of those people because I'm always the person that wants to be best at everything that I do, like as far as every job that I do or whatever. So for me, my purpose came with just, how can I say it? It's what God kind of made easy for me. I'm an instructor. No matter what job I have, no matter what I'm doing, no matter what goal or what achievement, no matter what I associate myself with, I'm always ending up in that instructor position. Does that make sense to y'all? I'm always ending up in that teacher instructor position. It could be anything. I mean, even if we went out today, guys, and it was like, okay, we're going to fly some kites. And I'd be like, oh, I need to learn how to fly a kite. I promise you, by the end of the day, I'm going to be instructing someone on how to fly a kite. And I wouldn't know nothing about it. So to me, it's always, it's just been easy. I would just kind of forced to do me. Whether it's whether I'm trying to push it or not, I'm just always forced to do me. And it's always ending up in some sort of instructor position where I'm giving instruction, telling advice, giving some information or something of that nature. And I've probably have a certification or a license and probably a million things that y'all probably don't even know about, because it just it's a natural thing that comes. And like sometimes I'm like, I don't want to do that, but it's just a natural thing that has been placed in me, and it's just easy. So I'll pick up on one thing, I'll become an instructor, learn how to do it, get tired of it in about 10 years, and then pick up something else, go to it. And I'm still in the same role though, doing something different, but still in the same role. And that's actually has been it. Even here right now, I'm still doing the same thing, but it's a little different hat, but it's still that same role. So it was kind of something I guess fell into. It was just me.
It sounds like you have that teacher mentor purpose.
Not so much a teacher per se.
But I'll say a mentor.
Yeah, because I never wanted to be a teacher at all. Never, but I always end up in that instructional, more so. And I know some might say there's no difference, but it really is. To me, it's a difference. But
There is.
it's always been that way. And so no matter what I do, I can go left, I still end up right back there. Go right, I'm still ending up right back there. So
Yeah.
that's how I found my person. I just decided to embrace it. Although I tried many different things, like, no, I would want this to be my purpose. It would still end up right there again. So I just wanted to share that. And now listen, guys, just to let you know, especially you men, y'all need to share that with, I think, with other young men, because I think people struggle with purpose a lot. We always talk about that's what needs to happen. Men, you need to be on your purpose. You need to do this and this and this. And I think a lot of times they have no idea what that looks like or what they actually should be doing or what the next steps looks like for tomorrow. How do I do that?
I think sometimes the issue is that a lot of times men are following the crowd.
I don't know, but that shouldn't change anything though, should it? Because you just saying it got to mature a little bit.
It does, because if you know anything about, some people are followers and some people are leaders. And if you're a follower, more than likely you're gonna do what anyone else tells you. You're gonna
Well, that's good though, because you need followers. Like so every man has to be a leader within his own right, but at some point we all have to be following something. And I think the way that we learn something is, it's not that most men follow, is that a lot of men don't do something. And if we can get our men to do something, to commit to something, that something will make you, this ain't working. Let me figure out something else. I'm not really happy about this. And it forces you to explore and to do things. Most people don't figure out their purpose because they don't start and try to become great at something. That's what happens often with a lot of men. So we encourage our men. That's what we say, go work 80 hours. Because when you work and you're focused on something, oh yeah, I'm bringing it back. Yeah, I'm a good salesman. When we talk about work, and you have to focus on something for hours and hours, it will refine your focus. It will show you, hey, look, this is not it. If you listen to Steve Harvey's story or a Cedric the Entertainer, he says that he was in insurance at first. And, he was there making about $45,000 a year, doing good, about to buy a house. And at some point, he like, look, this ain't it. I want to do something else. But the reason he was able to come to that epiphany that this wasn't it is because he had committed to something. And so I encourage men, commit to something. That commitment is going to help you to develop focus and refine your skill of determining what you're about. But then it's going to also give you clarity as to what you're passionate about. And that passion is going to serve as a gauge to let you know whether you're on course to fulfill your purpose or not. So men have to work, have to give that attention so that helps them to get clarity on what their purpose is. Do something.
Let me read this
And
comment. Hold on, let me read this comment. Mika's personal development. Hello, Mika. How are you? She says, educate, enrich, and empower. It's who I am to my core, no matter what profession or role I end up in it. Listen, I'm feeling you all day, every day. You are exactly right. That is very well said. Very well said. And I agree with you. No matter what you do, that's who you are. So that's very good. So Mike, what were you getting ready to say?
But I also want to say sometimes a lot of men don't fight through their purpose is because sometimes that purpose is going to take a arm and leg to reach. Because look at Steve Harvey's story.
That's true.
How long did it take for him to actually become a comedian when he was one?
Yep. Well,
I think he
30s,
said at one point. I think at one point he said he was living in his car.
Yep. 3
Even
years.
Tyler Perry.
Yeah, that's some dedication right there. Yeah.
And so sometimes this may be your purpose, but sometimes you got to fall before you reach high.
Yeah. Now I agree with you. That makes you better.
Because I'm going to share some of my personal stuff is that this is my second crack at the military. I was first in the Marine Corps first before I came into the Army. And I noticed a lot of men go through this is that sometimes when your purpose feels like it was stripped from you, you feel like you don't know what to do now. And so I got to the point where I didn't want to do anything. And it actually almost cost me my marriage at one point.
Wow.
And so she's the one who actually gave me the kick in the ass and said, so luckily I was able to join another branch and now I'm here. I'm back on my purpose again. Good. And so sometimes, what's up, man? And sometimes like your purpose gets stripped from you, but sometimes did it really get stripped from you in the moment, or is it just a barrier in your way or an obstacle for you to get back onto the race?
Wow.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that is. So Mandrell, how are you, sir?
All right. How are you, Security Boss? Thank you for having me.
Because she joined.
So listen, Mandrell, the question is there any person more important than your spouse? But you can answer that if you like, or you can actually speak to the fact of being on your purpose. This is gender talks. So, at gender talks, we talk about whatever, and you can actually have another question if you like. It's okay. Whatever you want to actually bring up, it's on you.
I want to bring up two things.
Sure.
And ask a question that's rather personal. Even Mike. What's up, Mike?
Hey, I don't mean to. I'll be right back. I got to go do a row real quick. I'll be right back.
All right. Thanks. We're going to put you in the back, Mike.
Mike kind of touched on it here a second ago. But first, is there any person more important than your spouse? Well, for me personally, I can only speak for myself. If I'm married, the answer is absolutely not. Not my mother, not my sister, not myself. There's no person more important than her. Speaking to purpose, I was wondering, what happens if you find your purpose? You're excellent at it. You actually love your purpose, but then you're unable to do it anymore. Then what?
That was just what Mike was speaking to.
Yeah, I said he just touched on it.
Now, I don't know. Listen, I don't know. Like if something happened and I couldn't speak, I don't know what I would do. There are people who don't think that, and this is real, that they don't think life is worth living if they can't do that thing. And I think in that you have to find a different way to do what you used to do in a different way. I think about people who've lost limbs, who used to be runners or track stars, or lost arms, used to be, you know what I mean? And they have to find some other way to, I guess, translate what they did in one form in a different way. But that's tough. And I'm not really trying to answer that question.
Mm-hmm. Now, those
So
people I do understand. Huh?
if we would look at it as everything being spiritual, then that means that you would definitely have another purpose. So finding it would then be probably difficult because you would still be touching on or being what you thought you were supposed to be, but there would have to be another purpose for living, for your life. So
Maybe, but
I would agree with what Security Boss said. I think that, you know, it is possible to have a shift in your purpose, because I think that unless you have a job to do here, then that's when your time here in the body that we borrow is up and you go from labor to reward.
right.
I but I think we with purpose, I'm of the mind that it's more of a discovery, really. That of all the creatures in all the world, only one creature can make the biggest boast, and that's us, mankind. And that's because if you notice, everything has a purpose. Herbivores graze, carnivores population control, bees, insects pollinate, all that. But there's only one creature that's not designed to do anything specific. It can do many things, but nothing. It's not designed to do anything that's very specifically designed to do that thing. No, and that's mankind, and that's because we create our own purpose in life. We have aptitudes towards certain things. Like me, I have aptitudes towards athletics, combat sports, war, tactics. I was a very good I'm a very good tactician. I have aptitudes towards those things too, but I can also draw. Um,
But those could be
I'm
just
good at other things. I was good at other things. Those I could have made that my purpose and put my heart and soul into it, into art, and just gone with that. Or I could have been a teacher or a police officer, something, and I could have just taken that as my purpose. It's just we have aptitudes that point us that lean us further in some areas than others.
so you feel like your gifts are directly tied to your purpose.
They can be. And that's the beauty of mankind. That's the beauty of mankind. And that's what makes us unique amongst the animals. It ain't the way we look. It's not the way we communicate, because even plants communicate. Insects communicate. All animals, all sentient life communicates. What makes us unique from everything else is that we create our own purpose in life.
Well, see, I don't agree with that because I don't think I created my purpose. I think it was just what it is. That's what I said. I did nothing. Trust me.
The thing is, you
I did
fell in,
nothing.
yeah, you fell into that and you chose it without even realizing it.
I didn't choose it. I didn't choose it. It chose me. I promise you. I would have loved. I would have loved to be a judge sitting behind a desk in a black robe with a gavel. Promise you. Loved it. That would have been
judgment toilet. I got you.
Right, and she'd have had a full head of gray hair. That wasn't for you. Stop playing. Dealing with these knuckleheads. Come on, hitting that gavel.
But we're talking about choosing. I was destined to be a lawyer. I wanted a law degree. That's what I wanted. That's who if you're talking about choosing, I'm talking about something that just comes natural, no matter where I'm standing, no matter where I'm at, no matter what. I am that instructor. I am that person, no matter what. People look to me for that, even if I don't say anything. You know what I'm saying? I don't have nothing, even if I don't offer anything on it, it is my purpose. That's why I'm there. I can do it. And no matter what field I try to go in, it always ends up that way. And I don't feel like I'm choosing. I'm not choosing it. I didn't choose it.
I have to agree with Judge Boss on this one.
You have to agree with Judge Boss. Oh, fair enough. But here's the thing, from my observation and from my life experience, yeah, We're not. It's in again. And Bolo just said it's because we're self-aware. Animals are self-aware. So are insects. They're self-aware.
Well, in terms of consciousness, they're not aware in that sense.
What do you mean?
So what you're referring to is instincts. So they have instincts. They know. They understand.
So do we.
Yeah, but
We have
consciousness.
They have
a consciousness.
They're aware. They're whether they're alive. They're aware of not only just danger, but safety and everything. They have families. Come on, animals have families, and they're far stronger and tighter knit families than humans are. We have choice. We have choice. That's our power. They don't have a choice.
Okay.
No, animals.
They
do what they do without the luxury of choice. A bee has to go
consciousness. And listen, we could have this debate. Because so I'll tell you what this is. So I'll give you an example. So imagine yourself, we're right here on Judge Boss's. I just love that name. Sorry. So we're on Judge Boss's platform, right?
Right.
Now imagine yourself right here. Imagine yourself in the upper right-hand corner looking at yourself talking.
Mm-hmm.
That the ability to see yourself while you're doing something is the level of consciousness that human beings have that animals don't have.
My cat has that. If you have a dog,
cat has instincts.
If you have a dog, if you have a pet or an animal around your house, even a chicken, they know. Cows, they know. I've been on and here's the thing. I'm a firm believer that animals, like we keep as pets, even cows and chickens, I think they know that we think they're stupid and they play on it.
Mandrell,
they play on it.
Listen, we're gonna have a conversation about this.
You don't have a pet.
I thought about that 10 years ago.
Because you know what? So
get a cat, dude. They're far more clever than you.
Are you saying that people don't have consciousness, or that the animals do and we don't?
No, I think that we all have consciousness. Their consciousness is just in a different fashion than ours. We all have consciousness. We're all self-aware. Well, I can't say
that's not true.
I can't say all are self-aware, but there are animals.
That's what I'm saying.
Not all of them. I can't say that, but there are animals who are self-aware. That's not what makes
you
us
have
unique.
Never seen a lion decide to act like a duck. You've never seen it.
I've seen animals, even lions, act like humans.
Mandrell.
Yeah.
Mandrell.
Yes.
Okay, I'm clipping this.
Go to a circus. Go to a circus.
I'm clipping this.
Clip it and go to a circus.
Mandrell, you do know that even people struggle with consciousness.
What do you mean? How do you struggle with consciousness?
Well, you equated it to being self-aware, right?
Yeah.
You don't think that people struggle with being self-aware?
No, people create their own problems and they choose to. It's choice.
Which is a struggle in and of itself.
No, it's choice. That's what makes us unique. We have choice. We choose our own destiny. We choose our own. We're born with whatever we're born with, and we choose to do whatever it is we want with it.
Choose is a result of being conscious of what's available. This is why I said our consciousness separates us from animals and any other thing.
Rewind that.
Oh no, I got you. Rewind
that and explain it again. No, you don't.
Can I say something?
Wait, hold on, Bolo. I want Sir Hale Speaks to repeat himself.
Okay.
So when you're talking about the ability to choose, this is a result of you being conscientious of that ability to choose. This is why you don't see a zebra acting like a tiger or now listen, if evolution decides that they need to adapt to a certain environment, then that's different. But like humans, we're able to make a choice right here, right now, and decide to go on a different path. It is that level of consciousness that separates us from any other animal. Now, if we take this biblical, this is what gives us the ability to have dominion over everything else. It is because we're conscientious of the power that we were given from the very beginning.
I don't believe we have dominion over everything. We were meant to live amongst all life forms.
No.
Tell you what. Here's the thing. Here's my proof.
See, that's why I asked do you realize that everybody doesn't know about their consciousness? Because
go to the safari and tell a hungry lion that you have dominion over it. Or go to the woods. No, you ain't gotta go that far. Go to the woods and tell the bear.
That's a false equivalence.
I have dominion over you now.
Can I say something, man?
Somebody forgot to tell the animals.
Go, Bolo.
Hey, Bolo, wait a minute. Hey, Bolo. Hey, Jay. Hold on for a minute. Bolo, go ahead and say what you're going to say.
Yes.
What's going on,
Here
guys?
we go. This is
Um,
this is one of my mentors here, Bolo
well, let me
TV.
say this. Let me say this because I'm not feeling well, so I had to reschedule. The difference between us going to a safari is we put animals in cages. That's the difference. The self-awareness is animals adapt to the environment that they're in. We
As
make
do
the
we.
environment adapt to us. No other
Yes.
animal can do that. So that's the
Right.
difference. Hold on. That's the difference. The self-awareness to know that we can do whatever we want to do and actually go the opposite way of which way man should go. Animals don't have that instinct to do that. They don't have that wherewithal to do that. That's the difference between man and animals. So when you say go to the safari and tell that lion, yeah, well, look in the zoo. Yeah, look in the
Right.
zoo. We have a whole lot of lions there. Man has the dominion to destroy the earth. Animals don't.
I
That's the
wouldn't call it
difference.
dominion. I'm not that arrogant. Just me.
It's not about no. It's not about being arrogant. Being truthful has nothing to do with being arrogant.
No, I don't
If
think that's
I
truthful.
if I'm a third degree black belt and there's a cat that just don't know nothing in the streets, it's not me being arrogant if I say I whip your behind. That's the truth. So we have to
If
start
that be
putting
the case, I
words.
would agree. You
We
definitely
have to
beat me
start
up.
putting words where they belong, man. We have to, as black people, we think we know the definition of words and we don't. So we need to go back to school and actually start learning the definition of what words mean because we in our culture, what we do is we take words and retrofit it to how we want to sound. We got to
Like we,
stop doing that.
right, like we do with the environment. We retrofit our environment to suit us.
But that's the difference between man and animal.
That's
No
just one
animal can
difference.
do that.
Yes,
Now whether
we are
man
creating our own
now
purpose.
whether man
We're saying the
destroys the
same
earth,
thing
that's
here,
a
Bolo.
no. What we're saying is man destroys the earth. That's what you're trying to say. The
No,
point that
I'm
Sir
not trying to
Hale
say
is
that.
trying to make, the point that Sir Hale is trying to make and that I'm trying to make is we are self-aware. Animals are not. That's why they are instinctive. We get instinctive when we go into our amygdala. When we get into problems, we get very emotional, we go instinctive. They don't have cognitive thought. This is why when you walk a dog and he takes a dump on cement, he kicks up the cement. Why? Because when he's on dirt, he kicks up the dirt so that he can cover up his feces. It's instinct.
Yeah, but dogs are dumb.
Hold on. With that, I'm
This
going to
is
say good
different.
night
Yeah,
to
yeah,
all of you
yeah.
now.
This is dumb.
Good night.
Andrew, you gotta learn how to have a debate, man. This is
Thank
terrible,
you.
bro.
I'm having
Thank
a debate.
you.
Bolo.
Thank
I
you
love
for
it,
having me.
Bolo.
I'm not feeling well, but I had to come up. Yes, Sir
Don't you
Hal,
leave,
thank you.
Bolo. Don't you
I
leave.
gotta go, brother. I'm not feeling well, but
Give me
Oh,
a
I'm too
call.
drained
Give me
right
a
now to
call,
fight.
Bolo. Give me a call, Bolo.
I will.
We'll
We have
chop
to
it up.
talk this weekend. We're gonna talk this weekend. I love you
Okay.
guys. Good night.
No
all right,
problem.
Bolo. Take care of yourself.
Bad example. I feel where he's going, and the thing is, largely, we're saying the same thing. I'm
Not at
saying,
all.
I'm saying we create our own purpose, which is true. We create our own purpose in life. For example, me
Mike,
being,
mute out your phone, Mike. Okay, go ahead.
for example, me being what I was, right, in the military and as a defense contractor. Okay, I could say that that's what I was meant to do. I could also say that I was meant to be a therapist. You know, because my original degree is in psychology. Got another one in IT, technology. But I mean, yeah, I was initially before all that I was going to be a therapist. I thought my purpose was being in the army and being a soldier because like everything I tried, I just aced it, and plus both grandfathers served in World War II. Great uncle served in the Korean War. Uncle served in Vietnam. Daddy served in military family through and through. Right, both sides of my family.
So what would you say? So listen, Mandrill. So what would you say your purpose is right now today?
My purpose? Be an entrepreneur.
Owning a business and creating a business. So do you have one now?
The business, yeah. I've created the business.
So that's what you're doing right now.
Yes, and I'm developing the product. In fact, these shirts you see me in, these are samples.
Okay, so hold on for a minute. Hold that thought.
Mm-hmm.
So Jay, you've been listening to this. Tell us, you can answer any question you like. You can answer the purpose question, or you can answer, would you put anything or any person before your spouse?
Okay, I'll answer the one with the spouse. No one's above me and my spouse. That's my lady,
Okay.
and We're a unit. We're a pairing, and nothing breaks that union, let alone my sanctuary that I built for the two of us. So
Okay.
no.
So what
Um,
about the purpose question?
Purpose, as regards to what is my purpose, or
Or even if you know what it is at this point, or how did you get there? Because that was the question that I had for the men.
okay,
I was wondering, how did they realize what their purpose was? And Mandrill, I want you to explain it that way too. How did you realize what your purpose was? But Jay, I want you to answer that question.
okay. So I can't even say I know what my purpose is, but the route that I'm going, I'm taking the journey in order to get there, to get where I need to be, so that I can fulfill it thoroughly out. I realized what it was when I think right, not just after college, but after like just after knowing more about what I needed to do and understanding more about myself, like the journey to discover yourself, to know what you need to be, I think that goes hand in hand along with the purpose itself. Very similar, very similar to what how Moses did his whole thing to know who he truly was. So, and yes, I can use a Bible reference, guys. I used to be a Christian, so I can throw that reference in there. But I do relate it insensitive to that, of like I know I'm supposed to go. The difference is I have to be able to put the work in order to shape it, in order to get there. Like I said, you can know it, but do you have the tools to go out and go do it? I think that's what you always got to ask yourself. If I don't have the tools, then I can't do the purpose. There's no way. If I
Hmm.
go, if I assimilate all that I need to get, while also while also taking the journey to know myself, it's more the purpose can be complete and have some extra things done that probably weren't that wasn't a part of it, but was more beneficial in the long run. Now you have that skill and the purpose and character, which is the other thing that you need to do. Because I think discovering yourself is what really shapes you to be whole, not simply just having the other lady by you. Because I've always agreed with what you said, security boss. That comes later after you get done shaping yourself. I've always been a believer of that. My grandfather and my father were a part of believing that too.
Okay.
Find you, discover you, and then discover the
But
purpose, and then get it done.
Mhm. All right,
but
very good. Listen, hello, OG Patricia, Sway, Marcus. Hello, guys. Thank y'all for being here. So, Mandrill, tell us again. I know you said you've done many things. I've heard that. I want to know, how did you discover, or how did you come to the point where being an entrepreneur is your purpose? Mandrill?
I muted myself while Takashi was going.
You
But
froze?
yeah, what's up, Takashi? That's my man up there. But so
How
is
you
Mike.
doing?
Yeah, so is Mike. But how did I come to this conclusion? Was I was working at my previous job, and I noticed that I needed
Mandrill,
therapy. Hmm?
you cutting out.
Am I really?
You did there for a moment. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed I needed therapy. Right. It got to a point where I noticed. So I looked at my situation. I looked at my bank account, and I was like, "Huh? Well, I'm fine." So I just put in a 4 weeks notice, and I went to the VA, started getting treatment, and I got treatment from other sources too outside the VA. So I really went in full regalia with therapy and doing the work because so it's been years of it. And so of course I'm not the type of person who can sit still for too long. I have to do something. I have to, you
Mandrill,
know, huh?
can you go down and come back in? I think we're having trouble with your voice.
can I say something? What he was saying though?
Yeah, go ahead. I think that's it. Sway, I think it was saying I can hear him. But go ahead. I
Yeah, I
want
can
you
hear
to.
him too.
Yeah, but well, what he had a very good point is that people need to go seek help for mental issues because you'd be surprised how many people are going through something. A
Yes.
lot, we all go through something. You'll be surprised how much we suppress. We suppress it, but it still affects us, and we don't even recognize it. And so he has a very, very, and I am because I will admit I'm going through it myself. With my career, I have to.
Yeah, I can see that you would, because of your career. You're right. You were right. So did you have any problems coming to that realization, or was it easy for you?
No, my wife. actually sit there and say, you need to go get help. I was like, no, I'm good. And, my pride and my ego was getting in the way. No, I'm good. I don't need to do anything. I'm good. It's like, no.
Indrel 211 joined.
You are starting arguments for no reason. You need to go get help.
Yeah, that was a big one. That's good. I'm glad. Okay, good. All right, Mandrell, let's see. Can we do that again? You were frozen and your voice was echoing out a little bit. So go ahead.
And the thing is, everything
good
looked fine on my end. Everything looked fine on my end. So, but yeah, as I was saying, as I was doing that, I got certified to be a personal trainer, started training people, and I hated the way clothes fit, the way they looked, the whole nine. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to just make my own. And so I started designing, like I bought a pad, and I started drawing clothes designs. And I was like, okay, let me look into how to have this made. It started there. Okay. And then I started discovering, okay, I'm gonna need this. I want to do that. Oh, that's available. I can do that too. I'm going to try that. I'm going to throw, then I started looking at the technologies in the clothing, and I looked at what the big companies are doing, Nike, Reebok, Adidas. That's okay. They're doing these things, but they're not doing that, which is better.
Okay.
So let me look into what I need to do that. And it just building blocks and building blocks and building blocks. And here I am with technology, you know what I'm saying? Using different technologies that other companies aren't using, and different fabrics that they're not using.
Okay. So you're saying you're more of you're an entrepreneur, of course, but you're a designer. You design clothing.
I wouldn't call myself a designer.
So
that's the thing. I just started doing it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a designer.
Okay.
Because I can draw, yeah, but I'm not the artist my sister is. My sister at 5 years old was writing poems. My mother would take them to work or whatever, and people thought like, well, what book did you get that of? Well, who's the author? My sister's 5 and writing poems that adults write. Fast forward to today, she's an actor. She's a whole lot of things. You know what I mean? She could look at a blank canvas and create.
Okay.
I can't do that. I thought I couldn't. You know what I mean? I can't do that. Now, if you give me a picture, I'll draw it. Perfect copy if I'm looking at it. But you give me a blank canvas, I'm just like, yeah, I'm just not that dude. But I can get good enough to where the factory people who make them, they know what I'm talking about. Once I show it to them and I explain them, okay, this is what that is. That's what this is. Like when you see when I draw, you're like, okay, this is not awful. I know what this is, But am I a designer? I wouldn't call myself one.
So you're saying right now, this is what you're choosing. This is not necessary. You chose this particular purpose at this time.
I think we all do. Unless you fall into something, like people want to be doctors, but then they get in medical school and they're like, yeah, I don't want to do this. And their whole life, they could have thought that was their purpose. They could choose to be lawyers, such as yourself, but they get into law school. I don't want to do this. You know what I mean? So we all choose.
I don't agree with that. Because I gave you an example of myself.
We all discover.
That was you.
You got to discover.
Well, you just say we all. When you say we all, I think you're okay.
The thing is, there's some of us who actually decide, okay, this is my purpose. This is what I'm going to do, and you have the fortitude to go and do it. Like Takashi said, there's you can want to do it all the live long day, but if you can't put the work in, if you either don't put the work in or you're just unable to put the work in, you got to find something else to do.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So anyway, no, I don't know what
I'm gonna say.
I didn't drop myself out. I don't know what that was.
It says Sir Hales.
Sir Hales is gone.
No, I don't know, guys. I don't know.
It wasn't me. It was the software.
I didn't. You were frozen over here on our side. You was.
See, to me, I was fine. I'm moving around just as normal as I am now.
Like right now, I don't see you. I hear you, but I don't see you.
And I see me.
So that's okay.
We can see him still.
Yeah, I can see him too.
Okay, yeah. So it may be on my end. It may be on my end, but we're gonna keep it going. So anyway, that was good. So Mandra, getting back to what you're saying though, I know now I hear when you say all is maybe not a choice. It's not a choice for all, because it wasn't a choice for me. Because like I said, if I wanted to choose, if I had my choice, I would do something else. I would prefer to have done something else. Now I could have chose to do that, but it would have been harder for me to do. It wouldn't have been as natural or as organic. Kind of see what I mean?
Yeah,
You
I
know,
see what you're
and I
saying.
would have fought to be good at it too, but it would have been harder for me rather than just following what I am gifted in and then walking it out.
Right, but and see, like Mike, I found what I was I was actually gifted in by rebelling against it almost my whole life. Everyone told me I was going to be a soldier. Everyone told me I was going to be in the army, just like your daddy, just like your granddaddy, just like your uncles. You're going to be a soldier. I'm like, no, I'm not. No, I went to college to keep from going in the army because, well, in my parents' house, you were going to go to college anyway. My sister and I, there's just no two ways about that. So I got out of college, and when I graduated, to keep from moving home, I joined the army. And what got me is that they're like, hey, you got student loans? Yeah, we'll pay them right off for you. I said, well, what are our signs, Sergeant? And that's how they got me. I got in there. I was like, this is what's up right here. You know what I'm saying?
Did they promise you the Dodge Charger?
No, they didn't. They did not. Nope.
A Dodge Charger? Did you say a Dodge Charger?
Recruiters do it sometimes, security boss.
Okay, come over here and fight with us in this war, and I'll give you a Dodge Charger. Really?
Signing bonus.
That
Signing bonus be the big one.
Fair.
Yeah.
That doesn't fair. Wow, that's terrible.
And Mike was also saying, what gets me is that spouses of these husbands, like I have a good friend of mine who wanted to get out. And while he was deployed, he was calling over to his wife's house. He's like, yeah, my re-enlistment window was open, but I'm not going to do it. She's like, why not? I heard the sign-up bonus are really, really high. He said, yeah, it is. So she talked him she asked him how much the sign-up bonuses were. And at that time, they were $20,000 tax-free lump sum. Done, right? And so if you re-enlist while you're in theater. And so she talks him into doing it when he didn't want to. He does it. Another 8 months pass by. He gets home, empty house. Now, here's a couple that I know for a fact. This guy didn't do anything horrible to her. She left him a Dear John letter, and he actually called her, and she's like, no, it's because you're away too long, and I need someone to be with me 24/7, okay? And he's like, well, why did you talk me into, why'd you say you wanted me to re-enlist? You wanted to do, she came up with like 3 different excuses, but she had emptied the bank accounts and then emptied the house too, and left. So she left the guy down to zero. They had to go live in the barracks.
You'd be surprised how many times that actually happens.
That happens a lot, security boss in the military. And then people look at me like,
y'all say that, and it makes no sense. It's just awful that would happen because it should be some sort of agreement or lines of communication that went on prior to you, either enlisting or going in or re-enlisting or what have you. She just wanted to do that.
There was communication. He talked to her about it and said, I really don't want to do this. I don't. But see, here's the thing, security boss. Here's the issue I find you're having, okay? And why you're so confused with some of this. You're a lady. You're not a woman. Right. You're not a chick. You're a lady.
Okay.
And you're a wife. Okay? So for you, the silly stuff these women are doing out here these days, it's not going to make sense to you. It's just not. You're cut from a different cloth.
I'm a woman still. I'm a woman who acts like a lady. But I still understand some things. And you're right, there are a bunch of silly things going on in the world. I agree. And I don't know how we get beyond it. I don't know how you all get beyond it, So I agree with that. I understand. I don't think you even understand. It just happens. It's not, we can't even look for understanding. It's just wrong. It's just wrong for someone to, a man be off at re-enlisting in the military and some come home and she's taking everything and all the money and stuff like that. Black man went through that. That's just wrong. No matter how you slice it, it's just wrong.
It happens. Security boss. It happens so much that there are a lot of guys actually afraid to get married while they're in, and they find fantastic women, but they absolutely refuse to get married because they're like, yeah, but there's always the off chance of that happening, and that's just not baller to me.
I don't know. It seems extreme, but I do hear about it often. It does seem extreme. Corey, how are you? I hadn't had a chance to speak to you at all. Marcus says you're a lady of God, security boss. Yes, I try to be, but listen, this is the real world. I know things go on. I'm just trying to prevent y'all from getting caught up in it. I want y'all to know Know these women going in. Know them, smell them,
I
something.
gotta head out, guys.
All right, man.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
having
for
me
being
on,
here.
Security Boss.
All
All
right.
right.
All right, guys. So,
Well,
Right,
listen,
Mantro.
what was I getting ready to say? So, Mike, did you have anything else you want to add? Because, Sir Hell, what happened to you, sir?
I think I got kicked. I'm not sure.
It might, you know why you got kicked?
Same
It's probably
thing.
was that topic you're gonna have on Sunday.
That's what it is. I
I'm
got free
looking
kicked.
at a protest sign. I'm already ready for you. Did I read it right? Listen, is it a comment or is it a question?
It is I'm going to leave it up for interpretation.
I am going to make me a sign. Hello, Miss Creative. How are you? It's going to be protesting. Anybody who thinks like this, it's definitely us. Let's see. The SR Michael Richardson says the SRB is not worth it. I did 10 active duty and had to make the decision to do my next 10. I got out on as an E6 and got divorced. Oh, I see how much money I could make outside the military with my, and it ends. Michael, you brought us all the way there, but I guess we understand. But I hate you got a divorce, Michael. But anyway,
But
go
I
ahead.
think one of the biggest things is that there's a lot of people getting married with ill intentions.
Okay, but how do you know? Wait a minute.
And that's the thing, you'll never know.
Okay, wait a minute. Complete that thought. Ill intentions for what?
Ill intentions, whatever that means, as in this man is a money machine. And so I can get in here, live with him for a couple of years, and then pull everything out. Or she could have been down for it, and if something happened, she had a quick change of mind. Like, you never know.
So listen, Derek 1981 says, I thought I wanted to be a sports agent, but became a real estate agent. You know what, Derek? I was wanting to be a sports agent, but I actually became a real estate agent also.
Still an agent.
Oh, I'm sorry. What did I say? Real estate developer, excuse me.
Oh.
You know what? In real estate, you're developing and selling and doing all that. But listen, that's a good field though. So nothing against that. Sway. It's a money grab. Sway, what's a money grab? Being married? Sway. That is blasphemy. I will not hear that over here on Security Boss's channel. We are not blasphemy. Security Boss engineering experience in optical engineering in the DW. Hold on for a minute. It went away that quick. The DWDM fiber optics. Oh, that's a good one. They're listen, I don't know if I told y'all, but I have a contact in one eye. You know they do that now. Ain't that the strangest thing? I have one contact. My left
single
eye.
contact.
I know, isn't that crazy? I thought it was like the wildest thing. I was like, "Are you serious?" She was like, "You only need one. Why bother to give you two?" I was like, "Okay, that is pretty smart," but I didn't know you could do that. She was like, "Yeah, watch." And I have one contact in my left eye because I can't see. So, there it is. So anyway, listen, guys, we've been here almost 2 hours, actually, 1 hour and 45 minutes. I appreciate you all for being here. But I'm going to end this show tonight because I have something I need to take care of. I always do. But I'm going to be back on Sunday. We're going to be on Sir Hell's channel. Sir Hell is talking about, is marriage not the answer? Am I right about that?
Marriage is not the solution.
It's not the solution. Or is it? I ain't see the or is it part. See, I'm protesting it right now. Marriage is the solution.
50-50.
He said marriage is not the solution. Can y'all believe that? I got my sign already ready. So anyway, I thank you guys for being here. Chat, I appreciate you all for continuing to support and all your comments. We're going to be on Sunday over at Sir Hell's channel. And we're gonna have a pre-show, so come visit with me on Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern for the pre-show, and we're gonna go over to Sir Hell's. We're gonna talk about how marriage is the solution. All right. Did y'all have some parting words, or are y'all good for the night?
I got one more thing to say.
Go ahead.
SB Nation's in the building. Love this channel and love what you're doing.
Thank you so much. Genesis, thumbs up. Mike, you had something you wanted to add?
I'm good.
You good. Jay, how about you?
Security Boss rocks, and shout out to Sir Hell's Genesis and my man Mike. Shout out to the Army veterans out there.
I know we had a chat full of them tonight. I think everybody was in the military tonight, just about. All right,
You'd be
guys.
surprised how many people have been in.
No, I don't think I would, but I'm glad. I hope y'all don't have to go back. I hope you don't have to go back or go fight. How about that? All right, guys. I'll see y'all soon. Y'all have a good rest of the weekend. We'll see you on Sunday.
Say, why you always gotta go? Playing house, this ain't a home with your soul on the road. See, I've been lost in my thoughts, and my thoughts they too scared to usher off. Sorry, Mom, I just thought you were my world. Now you're not. And I'm just sitting, smoking, sloping in the days, cause my days ain't been the same since I drove your away. I remember the way you wrote letters in blue ink. You and me was in love. Think about what your crew think. I know your moms probably think I'm a bastard. Your pops probably want to beat my death and take a in my casket. But I got sick of fighting, bickering, fussing over nothing, cussing. Instead of watching the death of discussions that we once had, days that we once spent in the backseat of our cars reading poets at sunset. It's funny how love can fall out the foreground, get pushed into the back of your mind. We used to twist a spliff and laugh and relax. Now you crying, and I'm trying to find the reasons. So I ask, does forever ever happen, or is it always fade to black? I can't say. No, I always gotta go. Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul on the road. I can't stay. No, I always gotta go. Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul on the road.